Greetings, loyal subscribers and honoured guests. It's that time of the month again where I share all of my gaming pickups for the previous month. I've got quite a large pack of things to show you this time, so I'll keep the waffle down to a minimum. There was one thing that I was hoping would be here in time for me to do this video that hasn't turned up, and that's a limited run PS4 blind box. So I think what I'll do is I might just put up a one-off video of me opening that when it does arrive over the next few days, because I can't possibly leave it sealed for an entire month for the next pickups video. I'm not that patient, so yeah, I'll probably just jump on and record a video for that, so keep a lookout for that, and hopefully I'll get something good. I've got no idea what PS4 game it will be, but I don't own any limited run products, so whatever it is, it won't be a duplicate, which is good, but it might be a genre that I'm not interested in, although I could probably shift it on eBay in that case. But anyway, let's get started. Just on Wednesday, the next two Evercade cartridges arrived. So the first one is Renovation Collection 1, and that's number 23. So let's jump over to the video for that. Yeah, so there's 12 games on here, and sorry, I'm just going to try and get myself into shot a little bit better. Most of these are Genesis games, and it's quite an exciting collection really, because none of these games were really released in the UK, so a lot of us are experiencing these games for the first time, and even in the States where these games were released, they're now really expensive to pick up. So there's a few RPGs in here which I was most interested in. Dino Land, which is a pinball game which I've played a little bit, very similar to something like Revenge of the Gator on the Game Boy, but with little dinosaurs. I like the cutesy graphics on that one. There's still a good half of the compilation that I haven't fired up yet. I haven't tried El Viento, which is a action platformer. There's a few games like this on here as well. We'll get to the others in the end, and even something like Exile, which is mostly an overhead RPG. Here it is, has got side-scrolling action stages in it as well, which are pretty tough. I'm struggling to make much headway in most of these games at the moment because they are really high difficulty. It's probably going to show a little bit of the side-scrolling section. I can get through the... Oh no, it skipped it. Oh well. And I've played this one as well. This is probably my favourite game of the ones I've tried so far. This is Final Zone, and yeah, it's a sort of isometric mech game. The controls take a little bit of getting used to, but you can lock your firing angle, which is good. It reminds me of a game called Future Cop LAPD on the PlayStation a little bit, because of the theme and the perspective. And then this guy Errors, I have had an extremely brief go on this, but not made it very far. I've only really played this compilation for just under an hour during my lunch yesterday, so I haven't tried Granada yet, but I know this is a favourite of Joe on GameSack, so he hasn't had great things to say about the Evercade in the past, but I've got a feeling that this renovation pack will be one he's on board with, because he likes a lot of these games. Soldice, I have played this one as well a little bit. There was a follow-up to this called Soldice on other systems. I can't remember exactly which ones, but I think that's regarded as the better game. But that's on more modern platforms, I think, so a bit trickier to get that one running. Treasure, this looks like my sort of game once I get into it properly. I didn't really have the time to get far enough into it to see what the battle system was like or anything, but it's another traditional JRPG. Might have been on a computer in Japan first, and then there's 2 Valis games. This is the first Valis, and then they skip over Valis 2 because I think that was a TurboGrafx game, and they haven't got any TurboGrafx games working on the Evercade just yet. I would imagine it can do TurboGrafx just fine, but the other one is Valis 3. They're both the Genesis versions. So I think it might be all Genesis games on this pack. I'm not sure. I don't think there is any other systems, which is fine. I don't know whether Renovation put out enough games for a Volume 2, and that's the end of that. So then the Evercade packs always come out in pairs. So the other one is Gremlin Collection 1. So let's flip back to the trailer. Yeah, I wasn't terribly excited about the prospect of this one. There's only 6 games on it, and 2 of them are football or soccer. So you've got Actua Soccer, which is the more action-based football game, and then there's a Football Manager game on there as well. So neither of these really interest me at all. But I've been surprised how much I've enjoyed the other games on this pack, even though there are only 6 games in total, so we'll get there eventually. Still got the adverts for Cadbury's Twirl and stuff in the background, and Boost. That's interesting. Lots of Cadbury's. This is one I haven't tried yet, but it reminds me of puzzle games on the Commodore 64. But this is obviously a Game Boy game. You can tell from the monochrome colour scheme. It's a shame they didn't add any sort of other colour palettes to make it a bit more interesting on the Evercade, as that is possible to do. But yeah, you have to angle these mirrors and pop all the balls and get to the beam of light to the end. And then this is the one I've played the most, Hardcore 4x4. It's not the best racing game on the PS1, as you can probably tell. It's quite blocky and initially very hard to control, but you can tweak the sensitivity of the controls and make it much easier to get along with. But I've had fun with it. I just about managed to squeak through the first cup in first place. I'm not sure how many cups there are, or if indeed there are others, but there were 6 races. I performed miserably on one of them, but then I won most of the others, so it was enough to win the championship overall. And then here's Premier Manager 97, which I'm probably not going to touch at all, because like I say, I don't like football games, and I don't like management football games either, even less than normal football games. The only football game I've really had any time for in the past is Sensible Soccer, which is on the Codemasters collection, isn't it? So I might play that a little bit, because it's a bit more fun than these games, I think. And then this is a game I am quite interested in trying, but I haven't tried it yet because it takes a significant time investment to learn how to play it. It's Utopia, the Creation of a Nation, and this is a port of an Amiga game over to the Genesis. I might just wait for the Amiga Mini, A500 Mini, which is coming in about a week or so, and play the original and better version on there. It's nice to have this on here because I could play it portably once I've learned what to do, but I think for the time being, I shall learn to play the Amiga version with the mouse controls and everything, and slightly better graphics, and probably it's better sound as well, and then I'll revert back to this console port. And then finally Zool, which I haven't been the biggest fan of Zool on the Amiga, the original platform, but thanks to having a button to jump rather than up to jump, which is standard for computer games, it's a lot easier to get on with on the Megadrive version, which is this version on here. So I have quite enjoyed my time with it yet so far. So let's switch back. Yeah, so those are two pretty good Evercade packs. The pre-orders for the next two, which is Morphcat Games, who made Micro Mages on the NES and a couple of other games, and Intellivision Collection 2, that the pre-orders just opened yesterday, so I put my order in for them, and they will turn up at the end of May. And there's been no more announcements about other packs after that yet, but I expect it won't be too long before we get more news, hopefully some more arcade collections. So next, we move over to more modern stuff. I've got Kirby and the Forgotten Land next. Yeah, so I haven't really played many Kirby games in my time. I only really I've played Kirby Epic Yarn on the Wii a little bit, and I've played probably the very first Kirby on the Game Boy. Was it Dreamland? But there's a whole swathe of Kirby games that I've skipped over. If the rumoured remaster of the 3DS Kirby's on Switch comes to pass, I shall probably get that and play that, because I'm enjoying Forgotten Land quite a lot. It's the first fully 3D Kirby game in the series, apparently, which I was a bit surprised by. But they've sort of borrowed elements of Super Mario Odyssey. It's not as open world as Odyssey, but there's what they call mouthful mode, where Kirby can suck up certain inanimate objects and control them, which is a lot like the Cappy function in Odyssey, where Mario could throw his cap on things and control them. We haven't got to it yet, but I think there is a bit of footage in this trailer, which was the original reveal trailer, that shows it. Yeah, I've seen those guys. Most of this footage... Oh, I haven't seen that world. I was going to say, most of this footage is from levels I've already seen, the quite early ones. I haven't seen that desert world yet, or this space world. I have got to this watery world. That's quite a pretty one. Yeah, it's a nice looking game for the most part. Sometimes the graphics get a bit blurry and framey in the background and for distant objects, but for up close stuff it's fine. Nintendo know how to create games for their own platform. I don't think we saw the mouthful mode at all in there. They were probably keeping it under wraps at that point, but never mind. Yeah, you can suck up cars and vending machines and things. So next, another new release. This is Gran Turismo 7 on the PS5. So there's been quite a bit of controversy over the last few weeks about Gran Turismo 7. First it was the currency, the fact that you could spend real money to buy more cash in the game to spend on cars. Although, to be fair to Sony, that is entirely optional. You don't have to do it. The game is quite possible to play through the game and just make do with the cars that are doled out for free or that you buy with cash that you earn from races. So you can ignore that if you want to. The more egregious thing is the DRM in the game, which means if the servers are down you can't play the game, which was a problem just recently. The servers went down for maintenance and it was supposed to be for a couple of hours, but it was over 30, and during that entire time people couldn't play the game. At that time I wasn't even trying to play the game, I was doing something else, so I didn't even notice what the issue was, and yeah, it wasn't a big deal to me, but it's had people outraged and furious and taking their games back and trading them in and stuff like that. And I can see their point. It is annoying if you are really looking forward to playing a game and you can't play it because the servers have gone offline. And of course it'll be a big problem in the future once that once the servers are down permanently and the game's not supported anymore, you can't play it, which is not the case in previous Gran Turismo games. So unless they patch it and let you run it when the servers are off, people won't be able to play this game at all in I don't know, say 10 years. It's not going to be an issue for a long time, obviously, because they'll keep the servers on for quite a long time because it's a brand new system. But one day it could be an issue unless they patch it. I suggest people keep putting the pressure on them until they do patch it, because in my opinion, games should never be put behind a sort of online connection wall. You should always be able to access them if you've got the original disc and have downloaded it all. Yeah, I'm going to move on from there. It's a very pretty game. I am enjoying it, but I've taken a break recently. So next up is a game that was on discount recently, and I've taken a bit of a gamble on it because I don't normally get on very well with Metroidvania games, and this is called Alwas Collection for the PS4. And like I say, these are two Metroidvania games, and they're pixel art, sort of Megadrive or Genesis style graphics and sound. It's got some very good chiptune music. Actually, I really like what I've heard of the music so far, and I've wanted to get into Metroidvania games, but I normally find myself getting frustrated. I either get lost or the game just gets too difficult with the combat. And I hadn't put a long time into this one. This was another one that I've just spent a lunch break playing around with it for an hour on the first game. And it's not been too bad so far. And like most Metroidvania games, it slowly dishes out more powers and abilities so that you can backtrack and access areas that you couldn't before. And there seems to be a decent amount of game in there for the money. This was 15 quid for 2 games, and they both probably about around the 8 to 10 hour mark. The second game has got slightly better graphics than the first, although it is really a stylistic choice. Which one you prefer, I guess. Neither of them are modern looking. They're both of that sort of 16-bit style. So yeah, that was the Alwas Awakening trailer, and the other one is Alwas Legacy, which is along very similar lines. Next, we have a game which I had no idea even existed, and this is Cruisin' on the Wii. And as you might have guessed, it's part of the Cruisin' series from Nintendo. Let's load up the trailer. So not long ago, Cruisin' Blast came out on the Switch, and people were generally pretty positive about it. But this entry to the series completely passed me by on the original Wii. I don't know why, because it did come out here in Europe, I discovered, and it wasn't very expensive, so now it is part of my collection, and it looks quite good fun. I don't know how many tracks there are in it. Midway are the developers. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on how good it is, because I haven't played it yet. And then we move over to the Xbox 360 for Ninja Blade, which is another one I haven't put in and tried yet. And this is a sort of what would you call it? Devil May Cry style hack and slash game from Software, who are all the rage these days due to Elden Ring and Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, stuff like that. Sekiro. But this isn't that sort of game. It's more of a sort of Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden maybe hack and slash game against horrible mutant creatures. I need to put this one in. I've been meaning to have a go at this one, and I need to earn 3 achievements this week to get my weekly reward points. So I'll probably get the 3 achievements on this. It's not backwards compatible, unfortunately, on the Xbox Series X, but that doesn't matter because I've still got my 360, and so far it's hasn't given up the ghost, so I can just play it on the original hardware. Now we move over to the PS2 for a couple of games. First up is Spy Hunter Nowhere to Run. So this is either the second or the third Spy Hunter game that was released for the PS2. And this one was made to tie in with a movie that never came out. It's the one that was going to star The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. But the film never happened. The game did come out. And it looks like goofy fun. I know it's not supposed to be very good, really, especially compared to the classic original Spy Hunter game. But I watched Alex Navarro play some of this on a Nextlander stream a while back, and I thought it looked good enough to spend a few quid on and give it a go. I did play the first 3D Spy Hunter on the PS2 back when the PS2 was new, and I thought it was alright. I got tired of it eventually and traded it in and never looked back really, but I never tried this one, so yeah, I shall give it a try. And it's a similar story with this game. I watched another stream of Dan Reichert, previously of Giant Bomb, on Twitter, and he played some Operation Winback. I think he was playing the N64 version though, and this is the PS2. Means it's got slightly improved control and graphics compared to the N64 version. It came out a bit later. It looks like it's got 4-player multiplayer. It's another one I haven't put in and tried yet. It looks like
Winback.
Reasonably good fun. Yeah, that's it really. Sorry if I'm going over some of these a bit fast. The trailers aren't very long, and there's a lot to get through anyway, so it's best to keep things moving, I think. Now there's a couple of Dreamcast games to show you. There's a seller on Etsy, I can't remember the name, I think it's Sega Reloaded, and he makes sort of replica versions of games that never came out. They're really high quality. This is the first one, Propeller Arena. So as you can see, it looks like a legit game that was released. I'm trying to get the case open. So the printing on the disc is really good. Very high quality. And this Propeller Arena, yeah, like I say, was cancelled at the last minute. So this is the trailer. It's very fuzzy and low quality, but it'll give you an idea. Sega was all set to release this game. It was completely finished, and I think it had even started being sent to reviewers and the press and had been printed. But then 9/11 happened, and basically they got a bit scared of what people would think. It's a air combat dogfighting game. There's no real crashing into buildings unless you do it by accident while you're weaving around them. So they were perhaps being a bit too sensitive, really. But it was also, the Dreamcast was more or less dead as well. So when it missed its window to be released due to 9/11, there wasn't really a second chance for it to come out because the console was already commercially dead. I guess you are blowing up buildings and bridges a little bit there, so maybe I can see their point. And I have played a little bit of a burnt copy of this before. and it's good fun. So it's nice to have a higher quality version to play. And it was developed by AM2, which is Yu Suzuki's company within Sega development team. Yeah, and there was going to be full online dogfighting. You can probably still do that if you've got Kai or whatever the thing is that you can use to log on to unofficial servers. But I haven't tried that yet. So anyway, let's move on. And I got this other Dreamcast game from the same seller. This one's called Millennium Racer Y2K Fighters. And this one didn't get released, actually. Let me just switch over. Yeah, so this is Y2K Fighters Millennium Racer. As you can see, it's a sort of a Wipeout style futuristic racing game with quite nice Tron style neon-esque visuals. Handles pretty well. And yet, like I say, yeah, this one was cancelled before it was finished. So there are some bugs in this sort of beta version that's been burnt to disk and made available on Etsy. So usually what will happen is you'll go through a race and then it will get to the end and it will just lock up and you'll have to reset. And yeah. But yeah, it's. I haven't played much of it yet because having to reset the Dreamcast after each race is a bit of a pain. But yeah, I think someone discovered the almost complete source code for that and released it to the public, and then people started putting it out to download and to burn onto discs. So that's how that came about. And then the last thing, I don't have any trailer to show you, just the object itself, which is this. This was also from Sega Reloaded on Etsy, and it's called the Super Drive. And as you can see, he's put it in quite a nice Genesis style plastic clamshell case. But can't get it open. Oh, it's not in there. What it really is an Everdrive cartridge that's had a different label slapped on. If you put it in the system and turn it on, and it even says it's an Everdrive, probably an older model, so that it's quite cheap for him to get hold of and resell. But he has gone to the trouble of putting all the Mega Drive and Master System ROMs on there, and there's even Sega CD BIOS and Sega 32 stuff on there. 32X stuff on there as well. So it's quite an extensive collection of games on there. I have got a original Genesis, and I bought a RetroTink 2X for my Saturn and PS1, so I can get my Genesis playing those games on my HDMI TV and looking pretty good. So that's it, really. Actually, there's one more thing I want to show you, which isn't a game. It's a book I bought from Fusion Retro Books called Ocean the History. This was half price recently, and I'm about halfway through, but it's a really interesting read. There's about 280 pages of stuff, and there's lots of text in here and lots of pictures. Yeah, and they basically go through the entire history of Ocean in the first 90 or so pages, and then the rest of the book is interviewing people who worked there, like Simon Butler, who was a pixel artist, still is to this day. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's written by Chris Wilkins, who is the owner of Fusion Retro Books, and it was edited by Roger Keane, who edited all the Crash and Zap magazines back in the day. And I really recommend it. It's 20 quid when it's full price in paperback, but they'll probably do another sale soon, and I have enjoyed it so much that I've ordered the other book that they've done, which is US Gold, a similar story. So, but that brings me to the end. Like I say, if that limited run blind box does turn up soon, I shall just jump on with the webcam and open it and show you what I got. But In the meantime, that brings me to the end of another pickups video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for sticking around to the end if you did. I know it's a long one this time. And I'll see you again on the first Sunday of next month to do this again. So, yeah. Catch you on the next one. And in the meantime, take care.